Well, a couple of big decisions from the United States Supreme Court tonight, starting with their ruling to let states decide if transgender athletes can play on girls' sports teams.
More than half the states have already said they won't allow them to play, including here in Arkansas. And in the hours since those decisions came down, reactions are coming in from all over the state and country. We thank you for joining us tonight at 6. I am Hoyt.
And I'm Jurnee Taylor. The High Court siding with states seeking to ensure what they argue is fair and safe competition. Here in Arkansas, a transgender ban in sports has been in effect since 2021. That law bans transgender women from competing on girls' and women's sports team in public schools and colleges. And
Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders reacted to the decision today, saying she supports the ruling.
I'm glad that the Supreme Court made the right decision. It is absolutely critical that we protect women and women in sports and giving those kids that opportunity. And so that's something we really wanted to see happen. I'm glad they made the right decision on that.
Former Governor Asa Hutchinson signed the law into effect back in 2021. He also said today that he supports the decision from the High Court. And plenty of other state officials also weighing in, including Senator Tom Cotton, calling it a huge win for every Arkansan and for common sense, and continued, the decision benefits women across the country.
And here's the statement from Attorney General Tim Griffin. He also says he applauds the Supreme Court's ruling, calling it a common sense issue the majority of people agree with.
But that ruling came on the final day of the term, meaning other blockbusters. The court rejected President Donald Trump's executive order that ended birthright citizenship, and it struck down limits on how much national political parties can spend when they work with individual candidates.
Well, this afternoon we saw temperatures peaking into middle and even some upper 90s across central Arkansas. That high of 95 in the capital city marks day 2 of us seeing temperatures peaking at or above 95 here in Little Rock, which now brings us up for our yearly count of at least 2 days of highs 95 or above. We've seen 18 days so far this year of highs 90 degrees or above. Compared to this time last year, we are a little bit behind schedule, but we're still going to see that heat and humidity be a problem as we inch towards your holiday weekend. Our weather impact alert for sure extends through the work week. You see over the next couple of days, we'll see more middle to upper 90s. So likely going to add on to the streak. Once we get above 95 tomorrow, that'll officially lock in the fact that we are in the middle of a heat wave. You need 3 days of 95 or greater to see that. We'll likely get to 5 days by Friday, but the weather impact alert extends through Sunday because even beyond Friday, heat and humidity will continue to be a problem through your 4th of July celebrations. All of the details on how that will impact you are coming up in your 7-day outlook.
All right, Simone, thank you. Well, last week we asked who's responsible after a Little Rock woman said delays in her housing assistance put her at risk of eviction. Well, tonight, more tenants say payments are still delayed, leaving them worried about losing their homes. Karen Carr Brookshire has received housing assistance through HUD since 2008, and since then, payments have never been an issue until now. She's a part of a program that has tenants pay part of the rent, and then a local program covers the rest, and they send it directly to landlords. But recent delays have left landlords waiting and tenants fearing eviction.
We just want to live like everybody else. We're not asking for anything beyond. We just want to get our rent paid so we can, pay our part and keep going. It's very stressful not knowing if you're going to have a place to lay your head the next month.
Local community bank People Trust had been administering the payments until delays kicked in at the beginning of the year, and they denied playing a role in the current problems. We've reached out to HUD, haven't heard back from their D.C. office. Meanwhile, the city of Little Rock says it plans to temporarily take over the program pending approval from the federal government. And you hand your keys to the valet expecting convenience, not to lose your car. After multiple guests reported their vehicles are stolen after being left with the valet at a downtown Little Rock hotel, THV 11 Investigates started asking questions. And tonight at 10, we're going to bring you what police told us and the answers that we and the victims are still waiting on.
Well, tomorrow, new SNAP restrictions will take effect across our state, limiting what can be brought with the benefits. And while there are mixed opinions on the move, the state is trying to help by rolling out a new app that tells shoppers what's covered before they head to the register. But how does it work? THV11's Tamara Knight went shopping to find out.
Everybody loves to grab a quick snack or a quick bite to eat at the register, like Snickers or gum, but items like gum are no longer eligible using your SNAP benefits. The state of Arkansas is rolling out new restrictions on SNAP benefits, and that rollout comes with a new mobile app, SNAP Companion Arkansas, making it easier for retailers and beneficiaries to shop.
That app can be used to scan barcodes on foods while you shop and determine whether or not that item would be allowed or not allowed for SNAP.
I went to a grocery store to test the app to see how it works. Items that the app didn't recognize showed a question mark.
Zipper doesn't recognize, so it gives me a question mark.
Arkansas Retail Association Executive Director Steve Good says they are constantly working to add and update items.
You know, new items come out every week, and so we want to make sure as retailers that we've got those items, in our system correctly, whether they're SNAP eligible or not.
DHS says for those items that are ineligible, the app will suggest other alternatives.
If it's not allowed, that app will suggest some alternatives that customers can keep in mind.
Ahead of implementation day, retailers have spent months preparing for the new rollout.
We've had conversations with our retailers about, being prepared, training cashiers, getting signage up.
While shopping, we spoke to one customer who says he's simply not a fan of the changes.
I don't like it. I feel that I should be able to buy what I want to buy. Because, I'm the one got to eat it.
And Little Rock, Tamara Knight, THV 11 News.
All right, Tamara, thank you. Well, the SNAP Companion Arkansas app can be downloaded on all Apple and Android phones. We have more information about the updated rules right now on our website. That's THV11.com. Also happening tomorrow, DHS will soft launch new work requirements for people part of one of the largest state Medicaid programs. Around 200,000 people enrolled in the Our Home program will be required to work, volunteer, or go to school for 80 hours a month in order to get benefits. Now, tomorrow, again, is just a soft launch to get enrollees prepared and the automated notification system ready. Penalties will start on January 1st.
Well, as we, the people, prepare to celebrate America's 250th birthday this weekend, Arkansas Secretary of State Cole Jester is honoring our country by reading the Declaration of Independence.
It happened earlier today as part of Liberty Day at the state capitol with a full day of activities focused on the history of America. As part of the celebration, visitors were also able to take a look at rare historical documents that includes letters written by Thomas Jefferson, John Adams, and other founding fathers.
The events are all part of an annual tradition that began more than 50 years ago, and it's something, as Secretary Jester says, every Arkansan should get a chance to experience. Meanwhile, the Arkansas Air National Guard continuing their celebrations today, taking to the skies for a second round of flyovers. They topped over downtown Little Rock, Pine Bluff, Conway, and other cities.
Now, they will continue through Thursday in honor of the big day. You can find out when they fly over your area. Just head over to our website again. That's THV11.com.
All right, and just like those planes, veterinarians also want to remind you that fireworks can scare your pets as we head into this weekend. And they say that days leading up to the 4th can be some of the busiest times of the year for them. They say loud fireworks can cause anxiety in pets and leading some to panic and run away. So to stop that from happening, they recommend you bring your pets inside before the fireworks begin and create a quiet, comfortable space for them to relax. And while you're planning your celebration, don't forget to include us here at THV 11. This Friday, we'll have a Red, White, and You special. It starts here on our streaming platforms at 6:30, and it will re-air at 6 on Saturday. After the break, how a retired general's legacy is helping change lives at Arkansas Tech and their Veterans Center there.
And we're not the only ones trying to beat the heat this week. You can see that bullseye of dangerous heat indices across much of the country. Your local 7-day outlook is coming up in 5 minutes.